All right, so 4 months in to my recovery, I am starting to feel like a real nuisance. I'm feeling guilty about what I can't do to help my family. I'm frustrated because when I set a goal, usually doesn't take me long to reach it. And this goal of walking is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. And the stress of everything going on in our life and our kids' life is at that point starting to become overwhelming. We're all having a really hard time because it's almost like we're standing still. At least I know that I'm standing still, even though I've made a ton of progress. I had written down in like the end of April that I was having so many feelings of not being able to contribute, that I was just getting so frustrated, and that frustration was, even though I wasn't like voicing it or being angry about it out loud in front of everybody, my husband said, we can feel your frustration. And I'm like, I can feel your frustration. And at the same time, because of everything going on, I can't think clearly because I'm still on so much pain medication to just get me through my days. And physical therapy, it's emotionally and physically challenging at the same time. And when I'm coming home from physical therapy and saying I've got to do all these things to make sure I can walk, that is so heavy on me. And then I keep putting more pressure on myself to be able to do all these mom things and wife things that I should be able to do, but I can't. And I feel like this time is being stolen from me. I start, when you're sitting there, you start talking to yourself, and I'm like, man, is my family getting tired of dealing with this? Am I becoming too much for them to be able to handle? And I was starting at that point to kind of get depressed about things. And I never ever had the thought, for some reason, of why did this happen to me? I don't know why. It just never came to me like that. It was more so of, I should be able to do these things for my children, for my family, and I'm not getting to be the wife and the mom that I should get to be right now. And I think that's because it made me feel selfish, because I had to concentrate on healing myself so that I could get back to the point of being the wife and the mom that I wanted to be. And in here, I kind of vaguely remember this situation, but thank goodness he told me to write, because he said, I put in here, he took me to the side, and when all the kids were in bed, and said, okay, we've got to talk about this. We've got to make some kind of agreement that whenever I get home from work, the first thing we do is we talk about our day, because I have no interaction with anyone to talk about my day with and celebrate or cry over these frustrations, except with him. And as soon as he gets home, he's like, okay, I gotta do this, this, and this, and this before my day is done. And he's wanting to save it to the end of the day. And I want to immediately get it out when he gets home. And I'm exhausted by the end of the night. So he takes me to the side and he assures me that when he comes home, he doesn't see Carrie in a wheelchair. He just sees Carrie. He sees the Carrie that was laying in the bed in the emergency room and didn't shed a tear and say, we're going to get through this. He sees the Carrie that always gives 100%. And the only way that he would be disappointed in me is if I didn't try. But he sees me trying every single day. It's just that things are hard right now for everyone. He says he is so proud of me, and I tell him that is what I want right now. I want to do enough for my family that they're proud of what I can do, even if it doesn't feel like enough to me. I said it, I tell him it's just very frustrating to not be able to be active, because I was a very active person before all this happened. Like, I just didn't know how to sit still. And I tell him that I do everything that I'm supposed to do to be able to walk again. And, you know, everybody dreams about having a few months off of work, but not like this. Definitely not like this. And I was just tired of always being the situation, because that's exactly what I felt like. Not really the problem, because we were all working together, but I was just the situation. And I every once in a while, it would get to me, the frustration of not being able to do what I wanted to do. And Greg reminded me that every day that I need to get up, I need to say, okay, today is going to be a good day. And I had to physically like say that out loud to myself every day whenever I woke up, as my very first thought, you know, today, Carrie, it's going to be a good day. And I made it an affirmation. And that became something that I had to do constantly during those hard times. I would have them plaster quotes on the walls for me, and I would sit there and I would recite them out loud, and I would have to get either louder and stronger and firmer in my affirmation each day to make it through, sometimes just the next hour.